just see that. I went to look for one last night.
I couldn't figure out where they put me.
You're by the front.
Thank you, Ben, by the way, for helping. So, thank you.
You're welcome. I heard that Hastings lost some students, or have you done Hastings yet?
They're down one, so I think there's like 4. So tomorrow morning, to Hastings, tomorrow afternoon,
Did you have your non-traditional?
not in the I think we might have had one. Yeah.
Yeah, and it'll be probably in November. So
Okay.
some photos today. We have a little Jason photos.
Figure it out, yeah.
Just get all.
As long as it gets going.
You ready?
Yeah, we're going. I saved it. You ready, right, Scott?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have.
So is she trying to do the job? Is that what she's trying to do? Is it on? I think it's on. Yeah, it's
Dan, while we're waiting to start, do you want to pass that part around? Or do you already take care of that? But don't worry about it now. You already have it? Okay.
We went through a bunch of things yesterday and I'm like, that's what you do. So just,
Dan was kind enough to get a card that he thought we could send to Sam Talon's wife. Just to get him a note. We continue to think of her and wishing her well. So feel free to sign that if you'd like. All right, we'll go ahead and get started with the roll call and announcements of that stuff, and then hopefully we'll get the screen up before the presentations begin here. Okay, so thank you all for being here.
Central College follows the provisions included in the Nebraska 2006 Open Meetings Act. A copy of this act is at the media table here in the room. Joni, would you please call roll?
Linda Arney.
Present.
Michelle Soltmeyer. Here. Jason Beck. Roger Davis.
Here.
Linda Hayden. Diane Keller.
yes.
Tom Kearney. Rita Stiles.
Yes.
Dan Smith.
Present.
Ben Warner.
Thank you, Joni. Let's have the introduction of guests. Dr. Kircher, Columbus.
Good afternoon and welcome to Columbus. Please help me welcome Michelle Sutlick, who's working on our computer. She is our associate Associate Dean of Business. Allison Spencer is here. She is our Associate Dean of Career and Technical Sciences. Dr. Amy Mancini, our Dean of Arts, Business, and Science. Todd Heyer, our Associate Dean of Arts and Science. Harley Lee is our Albion Educational Hub and Career Workforce Education. Whitney Hake is our XR Lab and Fine Arts Coordinator. Tim Garrison is our Facilities Director. Karen Rieger is our Associate Dean of Community and Workforce Education. She's been here so long, you all know her. And Wade Hilker is also here. He's a faculty member in Ag Sciences.
Thank you. Dr. Kimball.
Good afternoon, ladies. This is Dr. Sandale, Dean of Nursing.
Short and sweet. Dr. Blau.
I have two today, Dr. Nate Allen, the Dean of Career and Technical Sciences, and Dr. Sarah Court, the Dean of Health Sciences.
Thank you. Dr. Walton.
Seeing if I can help, I don't know if I can. Thank you, I'm here to introduce Mr. Joel King, sorry, not till you get it, you get it. Well, Dr. Beth Klintz, she's our Vice President of Student Services and Enrollment. Dr. Kelly Christensen is our Vice President of Community Workforce Education. Katie Sharp is here, she's our Board Attorney. Tracy Skalberg is our Foundation Executive Director. Scott Miller is multitasking. He is our Senior Director of College Communications, and he is broadcasting the meeting, so smile pretty if you're on this side of the table. You are live. Penny Morgan is our Senior Director of Human Resources. Joni Ransom is our Chief of Staff. With us today is also Austin Rem. He is our Marketing Manager, and Jason Rem was just in here. He's our Web Content Specialist. He's helping out as well. Fran Davis is our College Effectiveness and Research Director. Kamala Reddy Cole is our Institutional Research Analyst, and I'll be presenting later today for us. And did I miss anyone? Oh, Dr. Matt Gottschall is our
Good day. Good day.
Very good.
Thank you. We're gonna poke around on this.
Thank you. If anyone in the audience wishes to address the board, please sign in with Scott at the front. Okay. Lynn will review the claims for the November board meeting, and Joni will notify her. Do any of the board members have any consent items they wish to be moved? Okay. Dan, I think you reviewed the,
Yeah. I make a motion to approve the claims with the exception of payments to myself, and also to approve the other consent items.
I'll second the motion.
thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Same sign? Opposed? Motion passed. Okay, Tracy, do you want to give us a report?
No, I don't really like to use my presentation.
We'll give it just a couple minutes. Yeah,
Okay.
while she tries to.
I don't know what to do.
I'm gonna try this one.
You try this one?
While we're waiting for that, I know that on the consent agenda item, was that where we made the motion to appoint the new board member? Joni, is that on there?
Completely over that.
Yeah, I really want to appreciate Diane and Roger being on that search committee. I don't know if there's anything either of you wanna say about our newest member, or that we're excited to have them join the board. But either of you want to share while we're waiting for technology?
So it was a wonderful opportunity to meet a couple of really good candidates, and it's nice that reputation of CCC is such a good track, really good candidates. And so, again, always a difficult decision to have good people, but yeah, we have made that recommendation to the board.
and he was not able to make the meeting today, but,
Yeah, we'll get him
Because of the
installed in,
fire.
yeah, we'll get him installed in November, and obviously with the quick timeline of just knowing that we had interviews and he was able to get his other schedule there, but, really, I think blessed that we'll have someone joining us too that has great experience, originally from Cambridge, which is in our service area, and they've actually been pretty active and wanting the possibility of an educational hub there in the future. Spent some good time with us up in Ord. And it was in our Ord facility there. He and Crystal Robb started the same day, he reminded me. And then also served in Ravenna, which is in our area. Slipped down to Beatrice for a while till we got him back out to Kearney again for Buffalo County. So really, when you think of that district even that he's representing, he's served in at least three communities that district helps cover. So there are 2 of the 3. So.
I think it will bring a lot of good connections and qualities and those kind of things to our board.
Yeah, he is, also was, recently has been president of the Nebraska Economic Development Association, so has been very involved with the legislature and the governor's office and advocating for things as recently as our dual credit bill and was involved in those discussions about the community college funding and how that would impact property taxes and stuff too. So yeah, I think it'll be a good addition.
Very impressive resume. You did good.
All right.
We would have done good with either one of them.
Yes, yes. All right, well.
Can I ask Scott?
Tracy, I mean, was it posted for them? Because they have access on their computers. If you want to present from your computer, I don't know how much longer it might be, but they do have a copy of your presentation though. Or some of them should or can huddle around if you'd like. I didn't bring my computer myself, so.
No.
If you want to, I can pull on my phone here. But why don't you go ahead, and we will go to Plan B.
We'll just shoot from the hip a little bit. Okay. Let's see here. I might need my glasses. So, if you, bring up your presentation, and then some of this I can probably reference inside this, so we'll just kind of try to go from there. So, one of the things that is part of our contract, with the college is an annual report of the foundation, and that's what this is. And so, I've called it, Mission in Motion and Milestones Behind This Strategy Ahead. So we're gonna come down to, the, 4th tile, and hold on here, I gotta get to it. This is the financials section. So we received our audit back, and as of 6/30/2025, the total value of the Central Community College Foundation and the Warren and Velda Wilson Foundation together was $53.3 million. Again, I don't know if everybody remembers, but we do manage the Warren and Velda Wilson Foundation, which is a land trust that spins off dollars for scholarships to students going to Nebraska-based schools in the counties that it serves. It's about 10 or 11 counties in south central Nebraska. And so that foundation has approximately $27 million of the $53 million. So they're a little bit bigger in terms of valuation than the Central Community College Foundation. So looking at our, let's see, keep coming down here. I have a lot of pie charts. I'm a picture person, so you have to look at your pie charts. And so our total assets, the Wilson Foundation's at 52%. Our permanently restricted assets are 27%, and our temporarily restricted assets are 9% of our value, and only 2% of our assets are unrestricted. So, so we live in a designation culture, and so most of our assets are restricted. Coming down. which is also why we're running that Generations of Impact campaign. The revenue for last year, total income for the foundation and the Warren and Belda Wilson Foundation together was 11.1 million. So really had a great year. That's a mixture of things, but the biggest thing, the most important thing is this almost $7 million in gifts that came in the door. That's very, very significant, especially just given our geographic area. And so really a great year for us. And then it kind of comes down the pipe here in the different income levels, and you can see that on your portal. Let's see here. I'm going to go into expenses. Now this is the fun part for me. So I don't have this attitude that our foundation should grow and grow and grow and grow and grow big. Yes, we should, but what we're here for is to spend, and to spend money for purpose. Not spend wildly, but spend money for purpose. And the purpose is to create opportunities for our students in Central Nebraska, for Central Community College. And so this was a great year. Our total expenses were $8 million, okay? And of that $8 million, we spent almost $6.4 million on program services, meaning as a combination of scholarships and projects and programs we funded for CCC students. And so that is 80%, if you look at it on a pie chart, 80% of our expenses were for purpose. And 15% is management general, which normally that's still pretty good, in terms of running an organization. But I just want you to remember still, we run farms, and so 15%, and we're running farms. That's expensive, and so we're doing it well. And our fundraising expenses were at 5%. So just to kind of give you a breakdown of accountants always look for that breakdown. So I pull into our why. We spent $1.2 million last year, and on scholarships. So let me clarify that, on scholarships. So that ended up being $924,264 for CCC students, CCC proper, and then $291,000 was the Wilson Foundation. And some of those scholarships do come to CCC, but we don't mix the pots, so we can kind of know which organization is doing the work. So, but at any rate, 1.2 is our scholarship total for 24-25. And, of course, my goal is to get up over that $1 million for our students. That's a lot of credit hours. It's a lot of credit hours. I had put in here a little note from a student about getting their scholarship, but I'm gonna skip that. You guys can go back and read it. It's your homework assignment. And so, and then we put $5.1 million into projects and facilities impacting CCC students. That's a lot of feedback right here. So that's pretty exciting as well. So next on the dock here is our Automotive Careers Training Center project. That was one of our biggest projects of the year last year. And our goal was 3.5 million, to raise 3.5 million. And to date, we're at just about 3.9 million. We kind of changed that goal internally because we did have a donor that restricted $1 million to the endowment portion of the project. And we had only budgeted for 500,000 to be restricted that way. And so, I want to continue to raise that extra 500,000. I'm close, so that CCC gets the 3 million back into their capital budget.
Closer.
Not quite there yet.
Turn around. You're
Oh,
getting
look
close.
at that. Look at that. All right, we have okay. Let's see. It's not. They told me to bring it on. Let's see. Oh, there we go, okay, good, okay, all right, well, let me advance, yay. Okay, so let's get through these slides. Okay. All right, here's our, okay, and so, and the other thing one of the things that we worked on last year was the shotgun sports, helping that get off the ground, and we had a goal of 50,000, and as of this summer, we had 52, so that was pretty exciting. We had a nice little kickoff with the donors that were part of that Founders Club that helped fund that this fall. We are working on Holdridge naming rights, so I hope to bring some of those to you shortly. Actually, I do have one of the documents ready, but I have a couple more I'm looking for. So we'll be bringing that to you soon. We worked also on, remember, we have 2% in unrestricted assets, right? So we're still working on that Generations of Impact campaign, which is a planned giving campaign. That is deferred giving of a person's assets or estate. And we have put, just this last summer, we put another $1.5 million into that signed documents for Generations of Impact. So 17 million to date in signed documents, which is wonderful. We're still working on that. Dean Moore's, of course, that was his legacy of getting that off the ground and running, and our team is continuing to work through that campaign. So we're not going to stop at 25 million, just so you know. I mean, it's just going to be part of what we do. So we did run our 35th annual Pro-Am golf tournament this fall here at the Columbus Elks, and we had a great time. We had 30 teams, 120 golfers, and we had crowned a winner of Team Future.
I don't see you there, Kathy.
And our corporate, our lead title sponsor was Columbus Community Hospital, so we're grateful for them, and they got the low net, so the Future team just knocked them out of the water this time. So we had a great time. Raider Rex came out. It was a good day. It was a Chamber of Commerce day. And so we talked about that kind of last time, but just want to show you some pics. We are rolling out the second annual Heart of CCC Employee Appeal. We do have campus champions on our campuses all over the college. And that's really during the month of October. We sent your appeals out in the mail, I believe. And so this is the one where we asked all the boards to give. So our board, foundation board would give to it, and as well as the Board of Governors. And, I know where he lives. I really do, because I got the database. But at any rate, this is it's a fun campaign. One of the things that we've incorporated into the campaign is, this was some of last year's rates, but we've incorporated just kind of fun ways to celebrate the power of giving and that collective community around giving. And so our campus champions, we give them a small budget. They get, just so you know, they get $4 per person, and they can celebrate their team in any way that they see fit. Really builds culture around what we're trying to accomplish here, which is really promote opportunities for our students. And so so we do that, and then we also the fun incentives, we do some, obviously t-shirt and that sort of thing. And then for the campus that wins, or the team that wins, We have $500 grants that they get to choose where they go to, as long as they go to students or something impacting what we're doing here at the college. So that runs during October. Last year, we also did a community appreciation in Columbus. This is our connecting tissue, trying to just connect our campuses and communities. So Columbus last year, and Grand Island last year as well, community and alumni celebration. In 2026, we are slated to go to Kearney, and so that'll be coming your way. And we just have some pictures. I like pictures. You look at them. Next on the docket for the foundation is strategic planning, and we've started this process with our board. We have a relatively new board. So out of the 15 board members, we have eight of them have come on since I've been here. And so we have 7 that have stuck around, but we've had, and they've gradually come off the board. Many of them retired after serving more than 10 years. One of them started the year I graduated high school, and I'm super young. And so anyway, wonderful long tenure of board members. But we did we did bring on some term recommendations. They're not necessarily term limits, but recognizing that a board that is constantly bringing new, fresh ideas and is a good board. We brought in a policy in our board that recommended a level of terms is 3-year terms, so 9 total years, and they could serve longer at the discretion of the board. So we're getting a lot of new people, but we still have a lot of our main core. So good time for strategic planning. We've also shifted our staffing model. So in doing that, we put staff members on the different campuses. It's just a good time to do some strategic planning. So we're building processes, we're building our brand, we're growing our internal and external connections. Part of our strategic planning, we've started with, we did a SWOT this last couple weeks ago. This week we're doing focus groups and it's personal interviews, and we did a survey. Fran helped us with a survey, and the survey, we had 525 respondents. We feel pretty good about some of the data we'll be getting back on that. We have a 2 full days retreat in Grand Island, November 7 and 8 with our board. And so that is going to be some long days, but I think it'll be some good days. There we go. So this is our team. These are affectionately called the outsiders. All we need is jackets. And anyway, these are the people that are responsible for development. So my focus are really the greater Grand Island area, and probably any of the outserved area I get. And then Sherry is focused on the Hastings area and Hastings campus, and Bob is focused on the Columbus campus and Columbus area. And by the way, affiliation. So even if a donor, let's say, is in Omaha, but they have an affiliation to Columbus, that would be Bob's. So let's see. Oops, go back. And then we have the insiders. So generally there will be 4. Pat is a quarter person. She's doing some special projects for us as we make that transition. She did retire in July or August this year. Retired board members, Jeff Anderson went off the board and Kevin Brostrom went off the board. And we have new board members, Barry Meyer from Hastings, Dave Long from Hastings, Doug Fargo from Grand Island, and Byron Hansen from Kearney. I do anticipate that we'll be adding maybe a couple more board members this year, and they will still be looking in the greater Grand Island area, because we're a little light on the representation in that area. Columbus, we have 5, so of the 15, 3, or a third of them are from Columbus. So this is the rest of the board. And you can look at that in your packet. So that's all I have. Thank you very much. Yeah, take any questions if you have them. Sorry, it felt a little disjointed.
You did a good job.
It's fine. And we do have our annual reports. I just enough to give you each one. They're hot off the press. This is part of our year-end campaign that we send out. We will send out a mailing of 5,000, which will go, they should be in mailboxes prior to Thanksgiving. So, and it's a great mailing for us. We have, it's definitely worth doing as we bring in a lot of dollars this time of year.
Thank you very much,
Yes.
Tracy. Great report.
Great work. Thank you. Dr. Sure.
Madam President, we just wanted to give you a little excitement today with the IT. But thanks everybody for helping out. Welcome. And I do have some annual reports for you, but before I hand those out and you get excited over all those things, I am thrilled to introduce you to Landon. He is one of our welding instructors, and your last name just was Hunt. Landon Hunt is our welding instructor, and he brought with him 2 very important people that are going to tell you a little bit about some travels that they've had. So Landon, we will turn it over to you to introduce your students with.
So, yeah, again, my name's Landon Hunt. I'm one of the welding instructors. I had a very eventful summer, so I figured I'd share some of that with you. These are 2 of my students here that went with, or we took a trip to Togo, Africa to install those stoves we built. I don't know if some of you were here when we came and presented and talked about the stoves before, right? So we went over and actually installed them. There's me and 3 students. One of them's graduated, off and working right now, but these 2, this is their 2nd year, so they went along with. So I made a short presentation here, some pictures and stuff you guys can look at, a couple short little videos. Just kind of highlight the trip a little bit, and then open the floor for questions. You guys can ask these guys questions and things from there. So the Salama Stove project, again, that's what we went over there. So when we arrived in Togo, we got there at night actually. This was the morning after we got there. So in the picture, you see Edgar, and then Kyle. Matt is in the middle there. He's the other student that went along. Kwame's standing in between Ole and Kyle. He was like our main contact, main guide there, kind of helping us organize everything and go. A lot of you know John Novotny. And then, I can't remember. Oh no, that's Kwame. That was our driver. Kwame's next to John. And then Thad, he kind of went around with us a bit. He's actually a firefighter in Omaha. And his wife works for Creighton. And so there was a bunch of Creighton nurses that went over the same time we did. We kind of organized and went as a whole group. It went as a whole group. So Thad, instead of hanging out with the nurses, kind of went with us because he thought it'd be more fun. And he was a lot of fun. We enjoyed that. So our first day, this is that morning, Kwame organized us to kind of go around and visit some like local welding shops in Lomé, the capital of Togo. And so this is like a wheelchair, a place that are built like wheelchairs there. Obviously the wheelchairs look a lot different over there than what our wheelchairs do. The main reason is there's not very many paved roads. So it's a lot of dirt roads, a lot of potholes and things. So you can imagine a normal wheelchair is probably not gonna get around that very easily. So they got these, and they got hand cranks, so you can drive them with your hands and steer them and stuff. So we visited this place. That was kind of cool to see. And then we went and toured a couple other spots. These are little stove, like charcoal grills they build, window frames and things. So It was interesting. Do you guys want to speak on that at all? No? The equipment they have access to, a lot different than what we have access to, right? Like, what do you see when because they were doing some welding while we were over there.
Oh, yeah, well, they didn't have welding helmets.
A lot of them.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so we saw one welding with like sunglasses, which is kind of crazy. That could be, I'd be blinding myself when I have a helmet. Sunglasses.
Right, a lot of safety stuff, cutting with hand saws, drilling with, hand drills or punches and stuff, so. Just the ingenuity of the people, though, is crazy, like, they don't have much, but they still can make all these things, just out of willpower and manpower, and, whatever they have can get a hold of to make the things, so. We got to see that first day. The next day, we drove up to, I'm gonna butcher this name, Agabalube. I think I got pretty close there.
We don't already met her.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Right. So that, it was north about an hour and a half. And then we went to the clinic. So where our staging area was in this clinic just outside of Agabalube. It's a smaller little town, city there. The clinic is where all the nursing students and stuff were working out of, but they have a guest house there, so that's where we were staying. And then that's where they shipped all the stoves to. So like our first day on the clinic, we went and kind of emptied out the container that all the stoves were on, kind of took inventory, checked everything, made sure we had everything we needed, all those things. And then planned out the trip from there and how many stoves we were gonna do a day. We tried to get at least 2 to 3 a day. I think we worked for 4 days, right? 4 days, so. And I think we ended up getting 11 of them installed while we were there, so. And a lot of that depended on like how far you were traveling that day, because some of them we were traveling, 2 hours away from our spot, one way and then one way back. So it depended on how far we were going that day, how many stoves we were going to be able to get done. So before we went out and started installing, though, they all these villages are ran by a chief. So like no governor, no mayor, none of that. They got chiefs. So our first day there, the chiefs came and they all met in Agabalube, and then they kind of had a mini celebration for us, and just thankful that we came, inviting us. And so we got to meet all the chiefs that first day and a lot of the community members. So we had to do introductions and stuff like that. They made us get up and dance with them a lot. So, it was fun. That was a fun day. So.
Is that the welder shuffle or what?
Yeah, that was one of their local dances. I think I think it was the easiest one they had, so they tried to get us.
I still don't see you on there, man. It is easy.
I hid that video away so no one can find that one. So.
It's on the camera.
Yeah. I made sure not to put that one up there. You guys don't want to see that. So. And then when we were out installing the stoves, I also took a short video of us here just kind of doing some of the install stuff. Main thing of installing, the stoves are all built and ready to go, but all we really got to do is get the exhaust stack. So we had to drill holes in some of the walls, or had to do whatever we had to do to get them installed in the areas they wanted them. Because that's a big part of the project with this, is getting the smoke outside of the cooking areas where they're located. So.
What was the weather like there?
It was mid 80s. Humidity was high though, so I mean we were sweating quite a bit every day. But, it was during right before rainy season, so humidity was pretty high, but it wasn't bad actually. I mean it rained a few days while we were there too. We caught a few rainstorms, but.
You want to go up there?
I actually think it was a good time because of the weather. It wasn't super hot yet, so.
So how many stoves did you actually bring?
So we built 10 of them over the last 2 years before we went over. They had a couple built from before, so that's why we installed an extra one. And then we're in the process of building 10 more right now too, so, yeah.
How did you determine who got the stone?
So we had nothing to do with that one. That was Kwame, our guy, and that's an interesting question, because in these villages, because a lot of our guys too, like Thad, you've seen Thad in there, he brought like a ton of soccer balls over, so we'd always take some soccer balls, some frisbees, some stuff like that to give to the kids too while we were over there, because whenever we showed up, we were like celebrities in these areas, like everyone just comes surrounds us and stuff, and but we were instructed, you don't give anything to like the people in there, you give it to the chief, and then it's his job to distribute or because it's the fairest way to do things, right? So like the chief decides where it's going, and most of these it's one stove in a village, and then it's the community, like community kitchen or something like that in the village that we're in. So here's just like a group photo of one of the villages. Like, I don't think these are all his kids. I think they're just, like I said, we're celebrities, so kids just came out of everywhere, every hole, nook and cranny to come try to meet us and play with us and stuff. So I'll let these guys talk here after a minute about some of this, like playing with the kids and stuff. And but so after that trip, they wanted me to put this in here. So I'm also the Skills USA advisor. So I took a mechatronics team to nationals this last year, and they ended up winning it. So they wanted me to add that in there because it was a big deal. So they were in consideration for Worlds. How Worlds works is they send the invite to, I think, the top teams over the last few years, and then they go through an interview process, and during their criteria, they decide who gets to go to Worlds. They unfortunately didn't get picked, they're runners-up, but it's still winning nationals is a huge deal. And with that, I'll go ahead, I'll open it up to questions, if you guys have any questions for these guys or anything.
What made you decide you wanted to go, of you two? You obviously could have stayed home, you could have been working, you could have been doing something else. Why did you want to be part of this?
I don't know, it's kind of like a once in a lifetime opportunity, you know? Like, it's not every day you can just tell someone I've been to Africa.
That's right.
Talk about you guys playing soccer. What that one village we went to, and there was like 20, 30 kids all showed up. And you guys went out and played soccer with them in the field.
So we had a soccer ball. It was just us two passing it around. We were waiting for the chief or something. And one little kid spotted us, so he came in with us. And we started passing the ball with him. And the next thing you know, we got called somewhere, and then we came back, and now there's like 50 kids. They're all and we're just like.
It started a full-on game out in the field, though. That's probably one of the best parts, just seeing like how happy and the kids are, and just, you know, everything is.
I have a question. Did you see anything that you do differently once you were over there and actually installing that you do different here with your product?
Not necessarily. We need to add some sort of water like tank to it. So I've been in discussions with some of the people there to figure out what we could do for some sort of water tank, external water tank on them. So we got to figure that out and then how we're going to connect them. So yeah, that would be good.
If I remember correctly, the first presentation you said they ran about $100 to build. Is that still accurate?
I think it's like $200 for all the material and everything for stove. Yeah.
Shipping is probably more expensive than the cost of this.
Yeah, I think that's why they buy it. They just buy a whole container, and that's not the only thing that goes in there. They like when we helped them unload the container, and then just full. I think they had like some special like imaging machine in there for the clinic, and like, you know, just whatever they can pile in there, just supplies, tons of supplies. Because that's the biggest issue over there, is just attaining with anything, right? So they loaded the container full of medical supplies and stuff, so we helped them all unload all that stuff too while we were over there.
Did they speak English?
So French is the main language over there. So we always had an interpreter with us that spoke at least somewhat English to help communicate between. So.
Before you left, I got to meet with you and I said to you, this will change your life. Would you agree your life has been changed?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe- Go ahead.
I don't know, kind of like made me realize that we really do have a lot here compared to other people. But yeah, like they were the happiest people I've ever met. It's kind of crazy. I think I got it pretty good.
Well, we really can't finish unless I also say, of course, thank you, Landon, for participating. But we also really do have to thank Dr. Allen and Dr. Waddle because this is outside the basic scope of what welders do. And yet you two were willing to think differently so that these young people can have a really life-changing event and Central Community College can have a global impact. So I do have to say thank you, Dr. Allen and Dr. Waddle, for your support of us. Well, we will let you sit. I also invited Whitney Hay to come and visit with you for just a couple of minutes. Remember, we have a wonderful lab upstairs called the Extended Reality Lab. And we are still learning how to use that Extended Reality Lab. As you peruse through your annual report a little bit later, not right now, as you look through there, you will see that we were highlighted on a national podcast for using our Extended Reality Lab and specifically our virtual reality headsets to help with some training for plastic injection molding. So that was wonderful national coverage for Central Community College. But Whitney and I have always kind of challenged each other, how can we use these headsets a little bit differently and continue to extend how they are used and who they are used by. So Whitney, tell them a little bit about how we use our Extended Reality Lab.
Sure. So, hello again. My name is Whitney. As Dr. Fisher said, I have that on my slides about the VR molding expert. I feel like we've branched out in a couple other areas to continue to grow with different programs in the XR lab. And so I just wanted to talk to you guys about it a little bit. So these are kind of our newly integrated applications, which again is the VR molding expert, Nano, which is a science-based application, and the implication of virtual speech. So this gives students an immersive learning experience, depending, everybody learns differently. So this is just one way to hopefully have kind of an advancement in this type of learning. So first pictured is Carl Anderson. He is the Director of Plastic Molding. We began integrating VR Molding Expert back in the summer of 2024. It's been a collaboration between Carl and Torsten Cruz. He's one of the creators of VR Molding Expert. We continue to have software updates every year, so we had a new integration in 2025 this summer in June. But anyway, it allows students to virtually break apart large molds and see what the inside of a factory looks like. And that's something we can't really do in person, breaking apart large molds for cost, weight, accessibility, things like that. So they're able to do that in this program. They also have narrated explanations of how a molding press works. That's part of the new demo. It kind of virtually shows them how it works inside of a mold press. And so we're hoping as more updates come along from Torsten, we will continue to do that. I have a short little video. It'll just kind of show you what the students see when they do this. So this is kind of what it looks like. When they get into the program, they walk through this door. All of those little speakers are where they can, they can click on those and it'll talk about the different parts of the factory to them. having a little bit of experience in factory settings, this is pretty accurate on how a factory would look. And again, it's continuing to grow. This application is not done. This shows them how mold presses are set up in this type of setting. And if you see kind of inside the green part, the metal square, that's the mold press that they're able to break apart in this application. This just kind of shows you a warehouse that they can again work on workspaces where it's going now, and it'll kind of tell them different things about a factory. And then, yeah, he keeps trying to add to this program. Having it here at the college as a demo, we give him feedback on what we like that they've done for the next installment and maybe what they could work on.
We actually have an Arbor machine in our shop, so that's exciting too, the working on those machines that we have on hand.
And, sorry. So this kind of shows you a picture too. So this is the main part of how I was saying you can break apart the mold where it says 1 through 12. If you go back to 1, it'll condense it all back together. If you go to 12, it'll break it apart to its smallest components. Since the newest update, this is where also there's a narrator now with like a red part by the 1, that if they click that, it'll show them how a mold is made in the press. So, yeah. And again, we continue to do that. They were just in there yesterday for a workshop with some students going through this application. So that's VR molding. The next thing we've kind of introduced is called Nano. This is an image of a student using this. Nano is a VR biology game released in 2023. We began using it this fall. The faculty members Rajiv Mendandala and Nicholas Whitney have incorporated it into 3 class settings so far. They're hoping to do it each semester. Students take on the role of being a scientist who shrinks to a microscopic scale, and they control the cell from the inside, like fighting off infections. It's inspired by the coronavirus and makes complex biology concepts highly engaging and hands-on. So this is just a full application. It's complete. You can purchase it. That's what we did through those funds. And again, this is just kind of shows you what they do in the game. So first they go into this science lab.
We've developed a synthetic immune cell
and there's a
detector
narrator
and eliminate
explaining
indoor
they're
virus.
trying to fight off infections in the cell.
Once it's injected, you control it remotely with a nano drone.
And basically they have to make the cell work for it to defeat the bacteria. So I know it looks like gameplay, but the students really enjoy it, and it's hoping to have them kind of keep the information better in this type of learning setting. So this is when the infections start coming and they have to remember how to work the cell to make it.
You have an unidentified pathogen approaching rapidly. This is priority 1. Energy now. Are you still there?
So that's been really fun. This is a picture of gameplay in our lab. So these are some of the screens in there. You can see the students were at different parts of the application at this time, but they used lab time in, again, 3 settings so far. Hopefully we'll continue to do that each semester to just get them more familiar with the cell, the human cell, and viruses and how each part of the cell reacts to that. And finally, the last one we're still implementing is virtual speech. So virtual speech has been part of Sean McDonald's speech class for 2 years, but it's been through the free version. So with the support of a mini grant, we're now implementing the subscription version. What that can do is students can upload speeches and receive AI feedback and critiques from virtual avatars, allowing them to practice public speaking and soft skills in an immersive and supportive environment. So there's kind of multi-use for that. Again, we've been using the free version. In that version, they can talk to AI people and ask it questions in different settings. They can see all the different kinds of presentation modes and debate. But with the new version that we are implementing, they'll be able to upload their actual speech, say it in the program, and then it'll give them feedback on many different things, their voice, eye contact, any kind of hand gestures, things like that. So again, this is just the last short video of kind of what it would look like for them in the headsets. And this could be used for business, this could be used for theater, this could be used for a lot of, not just speech, that's just kind of where we're starting. As you can see, it kind of shows how their speech can be there. And these are different presentation settings. And that's where, again, we're in the process of this part where they'd be able to upload everything.
What inspired or motivated you to deliver this particular speech?
And this is how the feedback will look, so they can kind of reflect back on that, hopefully prior to when they present their true speech, so they kind of know a little bit about themselves and how they can improve. And that's a virtual speech. So yeah, so just by kind of, these is just the start, integrating these technologies in different programs helps, you know, students for future challenges, different ways of learning. We know technology is always changing, so we're trying to just kind of continue to integrate that into our programs. Any questions?
Is this just on the Columbus campus or?
Currently, we're the one with the lab, but the possibility of getting the headsets on other campuses is completely up to the campus. So they have, they can do that as well. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Whitney.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will only take a couple of minutes of your time. I did share with you our annual report, but I think what you'll find, I'm not gonna go through page by page. It's wonderful. There's lots of great stories. But I do wanna maybe call your attention to a couple of things. You've heard from two really important employees who have given of themselves to make a difference for students on behalf of Central Community College. So I have a third example of that, and it's represented on the front of the annual report and then again inside. I challenged our agricultural science teacher, Wade Hooker. I said, you know, we've got this flower bed in front of the gym. Do you think you could do maybe the swooshes in front of the gym? And he did. He and his students did. And I was so impressed. We had a drone that came in and took the picture. And I just thought, this is fabulous. We had a young man who is on our soccer team and also is a part-time helper in facilities. His name is Chris. And he took the initiative to plant zinnias across our campus. And we've had more butterflies, right? We've had more butterflies this year than we have in so long. Well, those kinds of giving of themselves is really typical of what we find from our employees. But I'm also really proud to tell you that Wade also gave of himself and represented the college in the midst of it by working with our Downtown Business Association to update 16 planters across our downtown. And I need to read to you what I received from our city administrator, Tara Vasicek. She says this: Wade, on behalf of the city and our entire community,
I want to extend our sincere gratitude for the time, care, and creativity you've put into planning, growing, and maintaining the Trackside District planters throughout the year. They're absolutely gorgeous, far beyond what we ever expected, and we hear positive comments about them all the time. Your efforts have truly brightened downtown. In addition, she said this: we also want to recognize and thank Central Community College for supporting this work. It's truly wonderful that CCC allows you to contribute your talents in this way, as the impact has been overwhelmingly positive for our community. The partnership has created something special that residents and visitors alike enjoy every day. Thank you for your dedication, your attention to detail, and genuine pride in your work. Your contribution has made a lasting difference in how our community looks and feels. Now, without question, Wade didn't do this during work hours. He does this on his own time. But I am so proud to show you the evidence of what he does, and also tell you that Mel's hair shop behind that is owned by a CCC alum. And so we are really proud, Wade, of the work that you do on your time, but representing the college. Would you help me join Wade in thanking you? There's lots of great articles, but you will read them and you will enjoy hearing about partnerships and service, and I'm happy to answer questions if you have them or stay around afterwards. Thanks for your time and your patience with our glitches today. My boss always says, trust the process. So you know what? I trusted the process and it worked.
We're getting along just fine.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Thanks for coming today.
Wow. Scott, was there anybody here for public participation?
Madam Chair, as of right now, no one has signed in to speak to the board members.
Right, and there were no consent items. Dr. Walton, student success, please.
Fran and Kama would be.
It's my pleasure to introduce Fran Davis, who has been newly elevated into our director position. Brian McDermott retired, is now a member of our faculty, so he's not really retired, but he's moved into a different role. We miss him, but we're very glad to have Fran Davis. So she's here to lead our enrollment report today, and with her is Kama Cole. You'll hear from him as well. So this is our enrollment report for this fall. So Fran, take it away.
As Kayla said, I'm newly in this position, but I've been in the IR office for 10 years, so it's been a pretty smooth transition. We have full enrollment report is like 30 slides or so. We're only going to pull out a few of them today because we're going to look at like the population. Dr. Gottschall had looked at enrollment trends for credit and non-credit students last month, I believe. So we pulled those sections out. But then we're looking at some of the, like the specifics on the majors and that sort of thing. And then we'll finish up with the AB GED students. So I'd like to have Ankama start on that.
Good afternoon all. My name is Ankama Reddy. This was my third year at CCC and second time presenting here. So in the next few minutes, I'll walk you through the enrollment report of 2024 and 25 in the year. So here this slide shows the population of CCC 25 county service areas. So when compared with the 2020 census data, our population has increased just over 1%. So we're adding like 300 residents to our county service area. So here you see the population trend among the selected counties. We have our campuses and centers are located in those counties. So well, Buffalo, Plata, and Dawson counties show a population increase since 2020 census, 2%, 3%, and 1.8% respectively, whereas Hall Valley and Adams County experienced only negligible decrease in their population when compared to the 2020 census population. So here we're looking at the enrollment data for the 2024 and 25. So the total enrollment of 21,416 students, which includes the credit, non-credit, and the adult-based education. So among them, 87% are from the CCC 25 county service area. 10% is from the Nebraska state outside the 25 county service area, and 1.5% is out of the state population. So this slide illustrates the distribution of CCC enrollment students across the 25 county service areas. So where here the top number shows the 2024 population estimated, and the second number is a targeted population, where we mainly focus on the age group from 18 to 64. And the third number is the number of students enrolled in 2024 and 25. And the fourth number is a percentage of targeted population served in 24 and 25. So the Hall County leads with about 4,000 students served, followed by Adams and Buffalo with 2,200 students each, with Platte with 2,600, and Dawson County with 1,800 students. So which reflect participation range from 6% to 15% of their respective targeted population. So among the targeted population of CCC served ranging from 6% to 15% based on the population of the county. Let's talk about the credit students. So among the 21,000 students, 10,166 students are credit students, where 30% are enrolled in career and technical awards, and 13% are academic transfers, and 52% are course-only students, which includes the high school and early college students, where 5% are from like job skills vocational. In the next slide, we'll discuss about the career and technical award students and the academic transfer students. So these are the top 5 majors of the credit students. So the which academic transfers are like 1352, which holds the 30% of our credit students, excluding the high school and the job and vocational students. Whereas business administration, accounting, and logistics holds almost close to 700 students, which holds 16% of overall credit students. And associate degree nursing, criminal justice, and welding technologies holds 5% each. The bar graph illustrates the trend of 5 years adult-based education students from 2020 to 2024. So if you see in the graph, in the past 5 years, the enrollment of adult education students almost doubled, which range from 1,341 in 2020 and 2,510 students in 2024 and 25, which there is a slight increase from last year to almost 1.5% from 2023 to 2024.
I think that's pretty amazing to consider to be a double. I mean, I realize 2020, 21 was pandemic, so maybe you've thrown that number out, but still, the amount of growth that program has had over the last several years is tremendous. And even with the new changes we need to implement this year, I don't think they've seen much of a drop off. So they do a lot of work across our area.
So this slide more into the adult education students. So among 80% are under low ABPE up to and including 5th grade, and 345 are intermediate level, and 62 are adult secondary, where there's a pretty good number, 85 students pass test to obtain the GED here, and all these students contribute almost 102,000 student contact hours here at CCC. So these students are originated from 51 different countries all over the world, and they speak almost 48 languages other than English. So this picture shows the languages that are spoken by our students and education students. So the most common speak language apart from English are Spanish, Arabic, and Somali, which holds almost 80% of the languages are spoken from these three languages. Yeah. This map shows the countries of origin of our adult education students. So besides from United States, majority comes from Mexico, Cuba, Guatemala, and this Sudan. And most like we covered almost all continents except Australia and Antarctica. Like students are coming from all over the world.
Two from Togo even.
Yeah.
Even the Togo theme.
Yeah.
So now I don't have to look it up where Togo is.
Yes, yes. We appreciate that.
For today, you can access the full enrollment report on the CCC website under the institutional effectiveness section. There you can find the full enrollment report and more details in it.
And that's under About Us, on the left-hand side, do About Us, institutional effectiveness measures, and it's there. But you
Now,
guys have
Kama,
a
would you go back to the map that shows the percent breakdown by county? One in Nebraska. Yeah, and, you know, sometimes when I'm speaking to groups and things like this too, I obviously don't share these numbers specifically, but when you think about the target population being from 18 to 64, you know, 10%, you know, we serve. So I mean, you look around the table here, and I'm assuming we're all between 18 and 64. And if we were, since we are, you know, one of us would have at least taken some sort of class, workshop, through one of our sites. And I think that's pretty impactful when you think about the impact that we have and the variety of things that we offer just with that age group, because we do know there's, especially when you look at 18, that's not even some of our high school students. So you start looking at 16, 17-year-olds, and then you look at those over 65, I mean, it'd be even much higher there too. So again, I think that, you know, that's some, you know, sometimes a fact that I can at least easily remember that, you know, about 1 in 10 people will take something from us this current year. Might be a CPR class, might be a crafting class, might be statistics. But 1 in 10 generally takes something in each of our 25 counties. It's pretty impactful. Thank you very much for that. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Well,
down to me. Okay, all right. Can you hear me okay on there? All right, I'll just speak from here. You have my report printed there. Again, a lot of really positive things going on across the area. Obviously, we're in week 9 already, so past the halfway part for the semester. So I already can't believe that the midterm graduation will be coming up here soon. Will be held up here on the Columbus campus at 2 o'clock on December 12th. So please let Jody know if you'd like to participate in that event up here. And also, I think all of you have hopefully reached out to Jody if you plan to go to the NCCA annual meeting there in Lincoln on the 2nd and 3rd, if you need a hotel room there or not also. I also wanted to make sure you knew about just this week, the governor made an announcement that we are pleased to be part of. I think you've had presentations before about the work we've done with apprenticeships and folks working with our apprenticeship department. And we have been the lead recipient of a $4 million grant from the Department of Labor. And Southeast and Northeast have been our partners in that. So we've been leading that effort for about the last 3 years. We're in the last year of that effort, and we have a statewide conference that'll be coming up here in Kearney that we're helping organize and run, and that's going to be the 21st, I believe, November. Yeah, it's coming up here in November, so you'll have a chance to can get something out to you about that as well. But I just wanted to let you know how that has really gotten the attention of some other folks. We are already in talks with Exarban Foundation, who has interest in helping us look at funding and a model moving forward with that and expanding that to a full statewide model. And we have commitments from the other 3 community colleges now too, that they would be part of it. And then even more significantly, just on Tuesday of this week, the governor announced the creation of the Office for Apprenticeships that will be part of the state's Department of Labor. And so they're going to fully staff an Office for Apprenticeships at the state level. And they're, through the Department of Labor, they are looking at approximately $7 million grant specifically for the community colleges, Nebraska Chamber, to create entry-level apprenticeships for advanced manufacturing. So that's really exciting, and again, targeting to the community colleges here, and not even something we had to go and lobby and fight for in the state legislature for even. So again, very pleased that the state, both from the government side as well as from the philanthropic side, are recognizing the opportunities we're going to have here with apprenticeships. And I do think that part of that's because of the work that we have done already in taking a lead on that and bringing that first $4 million to the state and starting to put together some of these partnerships and showing the demand. So again, really excited about that. So I wanted to make sure you knew about that and knew that the community colleges are definitely going to be part of both initiatives. So with that, any questions that any of you have for me? Okay, if not, we do not have a need for an executive session, so we can let you get out of here and on the road in good time, if there's a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a motion to adjourn? Second. Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you all.
15.
Okay, November 18th, out in Kearney, will be a day-long apprenticeship conference. Are you speaking at it? Good, you should be.